Alright, so what I'm going to do is show a possible fix for the shoulder flipping out, which I think only happens in the IK mode. So if I rotate my FK arm, or FK controls, you can see that the shoulder doesn't pop at all, and works really well. Okay. Alright, so if I go to my IK control, this is the shoulder pop that seems to happen only with the IK mode, and so this is what I want to try and correct for. Okay. Let's leave it in pop mode right there. About there. Okay, cool. Alright, so let me jump to where I need to be, first of all. Alright, I want to have LFK arm orient anim visible. And if I was... what's a simple way to explain this? Basically what I want to do is I want to have a group above LFK arm orient anim that's going to rotate the arm to correct for this. I'm going to make a group above LFK arm orient anim, but if I were to just rotate this control itself, you can see as I rotate it, it corrects, for that popping. So I'm going to create a group above it, and let's see, I need to create two groups because I want to have one group to correct for this and then another group to act as a switch. Because I want to leave the FK stuff alone. As I was showing earlier, the FK stuff works just fine. I don't want to touch that. I just want to have the rotations only impact for the IK arm. So let's go ahead and do that. If I create a group and I put it above, what I'm going to do, let's see. The first thing I'm going to do, once I have these two groups, is I'm going to select LFK arm orient anim, and I'm going to copy the pivot over to these other two groups. Like that. And then I want to freeze the transformations. This first group here is okay, so I'm going to leave that alone. The second group here, I'm going to freeze the transforms, and just so you can see what that was translate, rotate, and scale I just did. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rename these groups. I'm going to call this top one here aim shoulder fix, and the second group, as soon as my autosave is done, I'm going to call aim switch, and this is the group that's going to switch between the FK rotations and the IK rotations. Aim switch is also going to be the parent of LFK arm orient anim, and aim shoulder fix is just by itself. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is, all right, that's good. I'm going to create an aim constraint, and I'm going to use LIK hand anim as my driver, and I'm going to select aim shoulder fix, and I'm going to constrain aim like that. Excuse me. What I want to do now, just to make it a little visually easier, is to select aim shoulder fix, and I'm going to select LIK elbow anim, and then turn on the local rotation axes, because that'll make it a little easier to explain. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my aim constraint, and I'm going to have, well, let me show how it's working right now. So right now I have aim shoulder fix, the x-axis pointed towards the hand control. So as I move the hand control around, you can see that the x-axis follows it. The next thing I want to do is I want to have the y-axis match the y-axis of this object here. Like if I rotate this around, you can see that this doesn't match up with that. So what I want to do to fix for that is go to my constraint, go to world object type, object rotation up, and I want to grab this name here and dump that in here, and I'm going to match the y, so here for this object, to the y of this object, like elbow anim. And so now when I rotate that around, you can see that it tries to point in the same direction as that. This is secondary though. Its primary job is to take the X and point towards here, and then the secondary is to fix for that, or it is for the Y to point towards that way. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, if you remember back to Jason Schreifer's ARM, where he used a blend colors node to switch between FK and IK, we're going to use the same thing here to switch between the FK and IK rotations. So what we'll do is we'll go to Window, Node Editor, and I'm going to take aim shoulder fix and aim switch, and then just bring him here, like that. And I'm going to create a blend colors node, like that. Okay, so aim shoulder fix is the one that has, that had the aim constraint. It was the driven object for the constraint there, and the aim switch is where LFK arm orient anim is a child of it. So what I want to do is I want to output the rotations, so you can see that they're tied here, to blend colors 1. And I need to make a quick change to blend colors. So there are my rotations from aim shoulder fix, but I need to zero out these right here, because these are going to be my FK rotations. And then I want to take blend colors 1, the output of that, and dump that into the rotate of aim switch. Alright, now I'm going to go to blend colors 1, and if I were to change this blender value to 0, you can see the aim switch is getting those 0 rotations, which are going to be used for the FK. If I were to switch to 1 and go to aim switch, you can see that I'm now getting the rotations for the IK. And these rotations, by the way, this is what's going to correct for the shoulder flipping out. And then, having the 0 rotations for the FK means that the FK stuff gets left alone. So there's no impact there. Where do I want to leave this? I guess I'll leave this at 0 for now. Okay, so the blender is done. Next thing we'll do is to load up set driven key, and we'll load settings anim larm state as the driver and blend colors 1 blender as the driven object. And settings anim larm state, we're going to set that to FK mode, and blender we're going to have at 0. So let me just check that. So that means that these are zeroed out, which is why our FK arm is in default position. We don't have any additional rotations, rotating the arm joints here away at all. FK 0. All right, let's create a key. Excuse me. All right, next thing, we are going to go to settings, anim, and we'll switch it to IK. And then Blender, we're going to switch to 1, like that. And then we'll create a key. And then I can close that. Okay, so when I'm in FK mode, aim switch will be zeroed out for the rotations. And then when I'm in IK mode, aim switch will have those rotations that will correct for the shoulder. Yeah, let me just show how it works right now. So you can see we're not getting that popping. What else is there to show? I guess that's it. Alright, one thing I would want to point out though, this is the fix that I've come up with so far. But I want to know what, I want to show like a potential, I don't even know if it's a pitfall or not, but people with more experience, it'd be great if you could comment on this. So if I were to rotate my character right here, or, you know, JJ here, you'll see that the Y is pointing up. You know, it's matching this, of course. So it doesn't matter that it's always pointing up like that. It's not like orientating with the body. I don't know if that's an issue or not, but I just wanted to sort of point that out. That you know, that will happen because of this. All right, what else is there? Switch. No, it was all. Let me just turn these off. I think we're done with that. Okay, anyway, I think that's about it. So that is one way, anyway, that you can take care of the shoulder popping. Something I want to sort of point out, though, is that the information that I got for doing this stuff came from this extremely helpful video from Adam Mechtley here, Rigging Tutorial 01, Understanding Aim Constraints. He does an absolutely fantastic job of talking about why that pop happens in the first place, and you know, how you can set up an aim constraint to avoid that to begin with. You know, it's well worth watching this if you are curious about like why that popping's happening, or a possible reason why it's happening, and also for understanding aim constraints really better. You know, really good video. Anyway, I guess that's it.